Well, it looks like we finally heard from Judge Netburn, and there's an issue that she just handed down in the case of the SEC versus Ripple. And in it, there's a deadline. I'm going to talk about what both the Ripple and the SEC have to do before that deadline. And in other crypto news, if you've been following the price of Bitcoin specifically today, you would have noticed that there was a large downtrend and then final red wick down to a $51,000 support line. I'm going to tell you what happened and what's the expectation of Bitcoin's price moving forward. Because there's a couple of things that the price must hit in order to continue its bull run. But there was one support line that the price of Bitcoin bounced off of, and I'm going to tell you what it was and what it could mean. And also some more news on the Sologenic airdrop. I'm going to discuss how much Solo tokens or how much Solo you would actually receive if you were a Solo holder or an XRP holder. Because looking at the Discord server, looking at Twitter, looking at other YouTube videos, there is a lot of confusion going around about how much Solo you could actually receive. And it's important because the price of Solo continues to go crazy. Despite some of the issues with the volume on the XRP ledger, doesn't seem to be holding much back in the world of Solo. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now on this channel, I'm covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all of those topics interest you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the Late Night Grind community. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification icon. That way YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. And if you would do two things for me, I would really appreciate it. Number one, smash the thumbs up button. Number two, watch the video all the way to the end. There's a lot of important information, and those are really the two best things that you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. All right, so let's jump into it. So first, I wanted to talk about what Bitcoin actually did today. It was hovering around $56,000 and then 55 and then 54 and 53, and finally when it was around $53,000 it had a giant wick or several minute candles that wicked down to 51,640, was essentially the bottom. Well, what happened? Well, people trading with leverage that were betting on the price of Bitcoin going up were liquidated. And as Will Clement had been tweeting out the last couple of days, it was actually slightly concerning having all the open positions, or essentially people betting on the price of Bitcoin going up and using leveraged trading positions, that it looks like they were going to get flushed out at some point. Well, it looks like that happened, or at least a big part of it. In a matter of about 15 minutes, nearly 297 million, I believe, in Bitcoin positions were actually wiped out. Meaning if you were trading with leverage, that's not a good idea. Now, a lot of people are speculating that something like this was actually needed for the price of Bitcoin to go even higher. Now, why are some people saying that this is actually a good thing? Because if you were following me on Twitter, I was actually anticipating this drop. My anticipated price was about to 50,500. Some other people saying their trend support line was about 51,000. Others were about 51,500, and some people absolutely nailed the bounce. So what does that mean? Well, the price of Bitcoin came down and it bounced off of a support line that, if you follow some of these Bitcoin analysts on Twitter, you would see that the charts are showing that Bitcoin has actually been bouncing off of a support line since back in July, and it did it again today. Well, what does that mean? Well, some people think that this means Bitcoin's about to go parabolic, meaning it's going to go straight up, but we're going to see. And of course, many of the altcoins would go right along with it. And one of those altcoins is Sologenic. Now, for the most part, it seems decoupled from Bitcoin, due in large part to the upcoming airdrop to XRP holders and Solo holders, and it's just generating so much of its own buzz that people don't really care about what the rest of the crypto market's doing, because they know what's coming with Solo, and that is free Solo tokens to their account. So if you're an XRP holder or a Solo holder, you probably have been paying attention to this. Here's where the confusion comes in. I've been seeing a lot of tweets and a lot of comments and questions in the Sologenic Discord server about how much Solo you will be getting. Now, it all depends on the snapshot. As I mentioned in my video yesterday, Sologenic's going to do a snapshot to see how much Solo is going to be dropped to specific XRP and Solo holders. And it goes essentially by a percentage basis. There's 100 million Solo tokens that are going to be given to other Solo holders, 100 million given to XRP holders. Now, there's a lot more XRP out in the market in circulation than there is Solo tokens. Solo currently has 200 million tokens in circulation. There's another 200 million locked up for the airdrop. So if every single one of those Solo tokens is counted in a trust line or in an exchange that's participating in an airdrop, and let's just say all 200 million are counted, well, that means 100 million tokens will go to those 200 million Solo holders, meaning for every 2 Solo you have, you will get 1 Solo token. However, if it's not that high, for instance, if it's only 100 million that are counted and there's 100 million tokens being given, well, it essentially means you're going to be given one solo token for every one solo token you initially have. But like I said, it all depends on what that snapshot is going to show. Now, on the XRP side, it's a little more complicated because XRP, there's a lot more of them in circulation and there's a lot of confusion around that. So if we go back to the Songbird snapshot, meaning Songbird was actually airdropped or going to be airdropped to XRP holders. Now, what that showed was that there were 37 million XRP in circulation available for this airdrop. But that airdrop was a little bit different because it didn't necessarily have to use trust lines, and that snapshot was pretty much including everybody. Every wallet, almost every exchange participated, and it was a very, very large snapshot. With Solo, I think it's going to be a little bit different because if you have XRP and you're holding it in your wallet, you have to actually manually set up a trust line in your wallet for it to actually count. Or you need to move your XRP to an exchange or to a wallet that is participating. And from some of the comments that I've been seeing on Twitter, there's a lot of XRP holders that are actually backing out of this. They're saying it's too much trouble for what it's worth, and they were doing the math, and it looks like it could only be one solo token for every 100 XRP you hold, or 200 XRP, or 500 XRP. And there's a lot of crazy speculation and calculations out there. Now, it could be a lot better than that in some of my calculations. I'm thinking it could probably be more like one solo token for every 20 or every 50 XRP you have. But nonetheless, you still need to be paying attention to this because the solo token price has been going crazy. A month ago, it was a couple of cents, and now it's $6 and, well, about $6.30 as of today. There's some speculation based on some Fibonacci retracements and some price discovery analysis that I've been watching that $15, possibly even $20 to $25 could be possible before the snapshot on Christmas Eve. Now, I certainly don't expect everybody on Christmas Eve to be sitting there holding their phones, wondering what to do with their solo tokens after the snapshot went through. Enjoy your Christmas Eve. But then again, if you tell your family that you will be receiving a large amount of free money, maybe they'll forgive you. All right, now let's talk about the Ripple versus the SEC case because we finally heard something from Judge Netburn. She just came down with an order today, and it's really interesting because it includes a deadline that both parties actually have to provide the judge with something by December 8th. That's the deadline she gave. So what is it? Well, there was a case that was just recently resolved where the DPP, the deliberative process privilege, was actually changed in terms of what can actually be included in the into the privilege log. So what does this mean? Well, let's go back a little bit. Ripple had actually filed a motion. It was a motion to compel the SEC to turn over certain documents in which they were talking about cryptocurrencies, how they came to their legal analysis about whether or not it was a security revolving around Ethereum, Bitcoin, and XRP. And some of those documents, they said, well, here's the documents, but well, we can't show them to you because they are privileged, which means nobody can see them. Well, Ripple filed a motion that says, no, you need to turn them over. And since they were waiting for the deadline for that to happen, the judge saw that there was a recent case in which the process privilege changed. So what she did was she ordered both Ripple and the SEC that they have 5 days and they have to come back with a no more than 3-page statement, essentially supplementing their arguments either for or against having to turn over these documents, or the SEC having to turn over these documents to Judge Netburn. So that is upcoming very quick. But another upcoming date that I'm paying attention to specifically is December 6th. This is the date in which the SEC has to provide a response to Judge Netburn on how they believe that buying XRP constitute a sales contract. And in that sales contract, how and where does it say that there is an expectation of profit and by whose work? So this is going to be something really interesting that I'm paying attention to. I wouldn't pay much attention to a lot of people that are saying settlement is any day now because, well, let's be honest, they've been saying that for months and months. I think this case is going to play itself out, but this is one of the key dates. Actually, both of these are very key dates in the case, December 6th and December 8th. So if you want to make sure you follow along with what the judge is actually going to decide and some of her comments on it, make sure you're subscribed to the Late Night Grind channel because I cover these anytime they come out because it's a very important case, not just for Ripple, but for the rest of the cryptocurrency as a whole. And before we go, I also wanted to make mention that the Sologenic DEX, the decentralized exchange, their software was actually having issues along with a bunch of others that were having issues with the XRP ledger the last couple of days. The Solodex has issued an update, which you can go to the Apple Store or the Google Play Store and download an update. And this actually works with, essentially has a band-aid to work with the XRP ledger a little bit better. So if you're having trouble moving your Solo or XRP into and out of that wallet, you should be able to do that more smoothly. Right now, I just tested some earlier today. I moved some Solo from an outside exchange into the Solodex, so going to be doing a little bit more of that. If you want more information and you want to participate even more on questions and answers, there is a Discord server for the Sologenic project. I will link that in the description below. You can go follow it there. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate you watching all the way to the end and for giving it a big thumbs up. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.